between each other. What's with all the systems?
Yeah, yeah. This is really
Jordan, you can become a squid, right?
yeah.
I will.
Yolding,
No.
can you no? Squid around.
Do you want to squid around? All right. Yeah. So I would suggest, seeing as not everybody was, only half the party was actually here when you guys arrived at the manor, or went to the manor. Did you want to redo that? Like going to the manor and stuffs, as it were.
Sure. Let me just eat my cinnamon bun.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah. So you guys are over hither. You are picked up at your inn, as everybody now knows that you run the place. And presumably you'll probably be taxed within a short period of time.
Oh, everything of that is of course taken care of.
Yeah.
Send the bill to the Weatherby family.
Yeah, there we go. Yes, so you have been picked up by a rather large, rather nice carriage, escorted by guards. Though you probably don't need them. But
I don't think they're for our protection.
Yes, are they to protect us, or they to protect other people from us?
Exactly, that's more about that's going on here. So yeah, Franz is very nicely dressed. He has clothes you've never seen him wear before. They're like that you would, if you knew what Davian fashion, you would realize that this is this season's flavor, basically.
You know, Kalia would, but only because you're the con artist, Morty.
Exactly. So he is definitely dressed, not like there's not like gold and jewels on him, but he's dressed very, very sharply. Anyone who recognizes fashion will see that. Yes, that is clothes made by master tailors, definitely. Technically, like rules-wise, he's wearing his noble's clothes that he got for his beginning restoring thing.
Mm-hmm.
And he seems to be actually quite well mannered, like moving and speaking a little bit more softly, maybe more nobly? Question mark. Or you might just assume that he's putting on airs. It's difficult to say. He is looking somewhat reluctantly and worriedly at the dwarfs in the group.
Well, Yulden, of course, is dressed as he always is, in his sort of leather jacket and adventurer clothing, as it were. Oh, no. For he thinks that, well, he had to go to official meetings before to sell his product, of course, occasionally, and he likes to have his product, talk for him, rather than putting on appearances that are just meant to deceive. And in this case, he supposes that he himself is the product, meaning that he should talk for himself. Which means that he shouldn't dress up either, because that would just be deceiving again. And he couldn't do that. No, they want the raw deal, and they are getting that. Oh, they're as clean as they need to be.
Is there like leaves stuck? Like
Halldamir?
They're part of it.
Oh. Yes, Kala.
I use my magic to clean him up.
I mean,
secretly.
Nothing in the rules say that you can't. So
facilitation, go.
So my question would be: how does your spell know where the erroneous leaves start and the actual clothing begins?
I suppose it is by Carlisle and Fran's judgment.
Does he smell like musty cellar?
All things considered, he doesn't smell that badly. He just carries around a lot of stuffs, like bushels of leaves hanging out of his pockets and such.
He smells like dirt.
I need these leaves.
He smells a bit like dirt and leaves, yeah, but it's not an unpleasant smell. He thinks.
I didn't necessarily want the raw deal, Yolden. They invite us to dinner. He sort of fidgets a little bit.
Oh, they want something from us, and they they will see who they are dealing with in the flesh.
Franz rolls his eyes a little bit at Kalaya.
Speaking of, how does Kalaya look?
I'm trying to find what the price would be to actually buy for Kalaya to actually buy a good outfit, but I can't find where I can't find my rule book on this hard drive. I can't find the rules for that.
I tell you what, if you throw a couple of gold in it, you can find a cheap, very good tailor, because you guys are kind of minor celebrities in this place at this point. People have heard of you.
I am okay with this then. In which case, Kalaya, no longer dressed in her usual armor, instead has decided to opt for something more elegant for the night. A long red dress. Not as fancy as what Franz has, and clearly Kalaya is not quite as used to it as wearing all the fancy things as Franz is, but still though, this long red dress, going down a decent way. She's not bought like overly revealing. No, slightly.
I mean, she looks good in anything, right?
Mm-hmm. Look at all that charisma.
Oh, yes. Oof. Oh, mama.
I'm a little bit of jewelry, a tiny bit of jewelry. I imagine she's also picked up. Maybe like a little silver necklace to go with it.
Mm-hmm. Like a leather belt with like a silver clasp or something.
Yeah, it just to make the whole outfit shine a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And the dwarven cleric, Dragmund.
I'm scared.
Well, after much pestering from Franz, he did manage to find a shirt that is mostly clean. It only has one hole in it.
Do I even know mending yet? I don't know mending yet.
I do, but Dragman doesn't really. It's a nice shirt. It's airy. Just some that and some normal pants and things, and it did leave his weapons out back at the inn. And his armor. Yeah, he looks like any street urchin. Which he's kind of proud of himself. This looks pretty good.
Okay.
I'm ready to eat.
That actually brings me on to my next question. Do you guys carry your weapons with you? How do you want to take our weapons and armor? I mean,
No.
Golden is his weapon. So
I'm going to a dinner. I'm not there to throw fireballs.
Yep, and as I mentioned, Halldamir, Kalaya is not wearing her under armor. It would not look good under the dress. And other than that, like her dagger. Sure, that she can.
Who knows where she keeps the dagger?
She has a nice red leather satchel. That matches her dress well, which she has her tome in.
Don't bring that to them. Do you have? It's full of dark secrets.
They can't read it though.
But
it's true.
I don't think you need to read it.
Doesn't dark voices come out of it?
No. Well, to me they do, but not to you.
The Yolden is most definitely bringing his quarterstaff. They invited him. It's their own fault.
It's not like Carla to take it out of her bag. She just need to carry it on her.
They invited me. It's their own fault.
You're reminded, Kalaya is her weapon.
Yeah.
Well, the Rugman doesn't have his gear with him because that would just impede the eating.
Oh, I suppose also I suppose I'm not going to be having floating disc following us into the manor. I'll remove that.
Sure.
I don't need a floating disc on the way.
All right. So everyone but Yolden has left their equipment behind. Okay.
There is an unseen servant following us, however, trying to make everyone look, trying to finish polishing everyone up.
Oh, we can keep. I mean, if they're yeah. I'm not going armed. I'm not armed usually either.
Sure.
But
All right.
I mean, just the thing. Me and Franz are always armed. Actually, is the correct way of putting it.
Yeah, that's true.
We are like walking catastrophes. Yes.
Like you're a bolt of storm, I'm a bolt of fire.
Now we just need earth. Looks at Jordan. Storm,
wind,
earth, and fire.
We have radiance in the other one.
And I'm presuming that you keep your precious wormling behind as well.
Oh, I thought I'd bring
Yeah.
him. I thought I'd bring him in the pit.
We
has to
bought-
stay behind.
We bought a house for him to live in. Now he has to stay in it.
We'll take some of the buffet with us back.
Sure. I mean,
Jordan
at this
just
point.
takes out a bag.
What, are you gonna stick him
He just tips the silver platter into the bag.
okay, for a second I was worried he was going to pour it into my bag. Like, don't put it into a woman's handbag.
He's living in his parents' basement right now.
It's that gravy coming out of your handbag, miss.
It's better than Dark Secrets.
That's true. The
Well-
book of gravy. The book of gravy secrets. Ah.
Well, that is perfectly fine. You are, of course, escorted into the Duke's essentially castle. Small castle, but castle. Through the curtain wall that surrounds the gardens. Serving boys and girls running to and fro, carrying platters and many other things. As you are taken in through carriage, the carriage stops and the door opens. The very well dressed valet opening the door for you all. And the entrance to the manor is sided by guards who seem to want to check your gear and equipment as you go in. So as you walk up to them, one very finely dressed, unarmored man comes up to you and says politely, Lady Carlyle, I would like to search your bag, if you will. And I believe it is golden ale. I would like to also take your weapon, if you please.
Oh, knock yourself out, but do be aware that I have very good memory.
He nods and looks to Carlyle.
Kalaya will nod and open up her satchel, take it off and showing it. There's very little in there. There's lots of papers, lots of supplies, a few books. Her book, which of course is locked in there, if it's padlocked.
It's her diary.
Yeah, you don't want to read my diary.
Frances.
Yeah, there's
Well-
lots of books and writing material, but there's not, no weapons or anything.
But isn't the pen mightier than the sword, Carlyle?
She's a reporter.
No, it's the spell.
She's a damn reporter. Get her out of here.
Yeah.
As
Also,
the...
yeah.
Go? Uh-huh.
No. It was a terrible joke and very offensive. I'm not going to say it.
Okay, alright.
Those are the best jokes.
Well, as the servant goes to look inside Carlyle's bag, a beautiful youngish lady comes out of the slightly dark hallway and simply says in a very well-toned and mannered voice, she says, "If our guests wish to festoon themselves with weapons, who are we to question their customs?" And gives you a smile. As she comes over and kind of puts herself in between you and the guard. Though the guard really doesn't seem to want to leave. But he does, bowing and scraping as he leaves.
Carlyle gestured out a hand for her bag back.
Oh, he never touched it. He didn't even get that close. And then as she comes up to you, she says quietly and dryly, "I myself have a dagger hidden under my blouse." Smiles at all of you.
Well,
I mean,
I
that's
don't
good for
believe
cutting
you.
them.
I suppose that comes very handy in a ducal household.
Yeah, cutting the meat or the cheese.
Well, it seems that Lady Morwen has forsaken the traditional dinner gown and jewelry in favor of an orange silk blouse and a tan leather pants.
Well,
And her hair is cropped. It isn't gross. Bound up into a bun. Although she has the poise and stillness of a true noblewoman, her stride belies military training. This is as she smiles at you talking to each other. She says, "My brother will be delighted to see you. He wasn't sure you'd accept our invitation, but I reminded him that not every day is an adventure." Smiles at you all and says, "Come, let's go to the dining hall."
Yes.
Turns and sweeps in.
Ragmund, don't just try to.
I will try, Franz. I will try very hard to eat.
And I shall whisk you all away.
You have way to make people stop doing things, right, Carlisle?
You go to the left.
Well, since Carlisle does not have to stave with her, unfortunately, she cannot command him to just sit down and shut up.
Oh, that's right.
Because I
Just gotta
had
resist that shit.
as I said, I don't. Well, that wouldn't. Remember, I can give you disadvantage on that if I really wanted to.
No worries, I can counter that.
Hex him over the
Bless
table.
myself.
I could certainly hex him. Hex.
Give him disadvantage on eating.
Just stabs himself with the fork. Ow!
What you say? That would disadvantage dexterity, I think, be stabbing himself.
Wow.
Well,
Standing next to a tall window overlooking the castle courtyard is Duke Maldwin Daggerford, a handsome man, if a bit on the chubbier side, with a face that has not yet seen middle age, his neatly trimmed beard showing no signs of grey. Joining him for drinks, but not actually joining him, are three other men who you would know as Sir Stevel, Lord Floshin, and something that only Franz would really know is the Duke's half-elf huntsman, Kelson Darktreader. All four are dressed in their finest clothes. As the Duke, Kelson, and Lord Floshin rise to greet you, Esteval nods politely but remains seated. One hand is resting on the pommel of his cane. The Duke sips from a glass of wine, gestures towards the window and smiles and says, "Our view is to the west this evening, but it seems we have trouble to the east. I say we forget about it for one night and enjoy ourselves. What do you say?" Gestures to the seating
oh sure.
that is left open.
Franz sort of moves forward here.
I know technically Carlisle still has detect magic running.
He says, "Well, thank you for inviting us, Duke. It's an honor."
Is it not?
He kind of smiles and says, "Yes, it is."
We need to break up the dwarfs somehow. No. Oh.
You can't
I
understand.
guess I'll sit over here then.
You know, I just want to kind of distance us as far as I'm not sure we can from them.
You can unsnap from the grid. For this.
Like,
Franz
I just
sits
want to
at
be.
the ginormous
Oh god!
chair.
Oh no! I know the lady's next to the two dwarves.
Yeah. Yeah. So see what this is what I mean.
You know, on the other hand, though, we're next to the Duke. The
At
important
least
guy.
it's not Ragmund. So I think Jolden is probably a bit boring, but at least he's.
You know, at least on one thing, at least the Duke, the most important person here, we're next to him.
Jolden is like that nerdy guy that like. only talks.
Yoda is very, very exciting if you're into the process of fermentation.
Right. That's when you end up next to the nerd guy who's like collecting his sticks at a dinner, and you're like, "Oh yes, do tell me of your stick collection, please."
Unfortunately for Ragman, Carlisle is not so interested in that, unless it's a process of drinking said ale.
So the stick collection is art. You wouldn't understand.
Is there food on the table?
Oh,
Yes, the the food has been laid out with breads, some form of basically. Can't really think of the British version, but the Portuguese version is a paella.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It's a mixture of foods, and it's delicious.
I know what paella is. So.
Yeah, breads, pies. Your plates are already laid out, and there are flagons for you, and slightly more gracious flagons for everybody else. Though
Wow.
yours are still rather expensive looking, it just seems that they didn't break out the fine china for you.
You know, we're adventurers. The chance of us breaking them is far higher than you'd expect.
But as you sit down, you realize, with some astonishment, that some of these wall sections behind you are actually secret doors where servants pour out with trays of food and adorn the entire table with them. And then a group comes out and starts laying out dishes of very hot, steaming soup, and they place them on top of your plates. Clearly, they want to feed you very quickly.
To reduce our chance for attacking the guests, maybe. I don't know.
Well,
Well, Franz knows about this. He's been to
No, that's
state
right,
dinners. No. No, he does not.
I know exactly what to do.
Just plop his face down. Plop.
No,
Well-
he will just grab the plate and just pour it over to his mouth.
Yep.
Kalaya, meanwhile, is going to wait for other people to start eating.
Yeah, I was gonna say because Franz has been at state dinners. He knows how to behave in these situations.
Wait until the most important person at the table starts to eat.
He's a damn noble. After all.
Well, as you say that, he doesn't really seem to wait for ceremony. He eats. He to Franz, as he's close enough, he would seem kind of drunk already.
Oh.
Maybe he's had a bit too much wine. And he's a bit wobbly with his hands.
Oh.
But he still seems to talk with refinement in his voice.
Mm-hmm.
Yolden can definitely see Lady Morwen is appalled by her brother's behavior.
I know, right? You got a head start.
Better catch up. Glug glug glug.
Especially with that dwarven constitution, you guys are going to take forever to catch up.
Oh God. Well, if the host begins, I guess we will follow suit.
Kalaya as well. Though, to Franz's eye, Kalaya is definitely different at the dinner table, where normally she's kind of just, kind of slouched over and kind of, does it as she ever. She's definitely trying to fake it as you fake it till you make it.
Oh, sure. She might also get like a sidelong glance from Franz from time to time, and maybe he will like steal a whisper to her from time to time as well, telling that the Duke seems to be pretty drunk for some reason. That's pretty odd. And then he will go back to being smiling and polite and basically trying to.
Oh, is he? As Kalaya's attention seems to be caught right now.
Oh no, it's a
Staring
book
a lot
whispering.
at staring a lot at this guy.
Oh, okay, sure. You go for him. That sounds good for me.
I remind you, my flaw is I can't resist a pretty face.
That's true. Is he the prettiest face?
He's an elf.
But isn't Flotion also an elf?
Flotion is also an elf. He is very handsome indeed.
They both got my attention here then.
Also, Flotion is super old, right?
Yeah, he's at least a few centuries old.
Wow, he's got experience. Well,
They both have my attention right now.
with those esteemed guests engaged with Kalaya, then Franz will try to engage the Duke in polite conversation. He will ask how well, so tell me, Duke, I haven't really been in Daggerford long and haven't really visited before, so how's the city doing these recent times? We helped out some with the swamp thing, I think, but he will sort of invite him to talk about the town and its finances and like the trade and other stately things to talk about.
Okay. He indulges you.
Trying to get him in a good mood, so he can brag about his town.
Sure, he definitely indulges you. But after a few sentences are said, Lord Flotian actually kind of butts in.
Oh.
And says, and starts talking to the Duke, and even you, seeing as you are a family, a noble family. He starts saying that he plans to, or he wants to turn his damaged estate here inside Daggerford into an asylum for mentally ill nobles.
Oh.
Gotta be plenty of those.
He
Profitable
actually
agreement.
Yeah, he nods, looking at Jordan, and says, Waterdeep has more than its fair share of them, I'm afraid. And he says that with an entirely straight face. Troublingly straight face, actually. And during this conversation, he even looks to Sir Stevel, who trying to seem like he seems to try and get the support of Sir Stevel. Where Stevel doesn't seem too bothered.
Franz will ask, well, Lord Flotian, did your estate get so damaged that a complete a complete rebuild is necessary?
He nods and says, well, the repairs are well and truly underway, but after it being attacked once, I really don't feel like it's the best place to be. I'll probably spend more time in my other estates further north.
Franz nods himself, yes, of course. This is what happened to his family, after all, after the incident.
He nods, and he seems to try and get your favor on this, your support on the plan.
I mean, he will be like, an asylum for sick people seems like a pretty nice idea, I guess.
It's
It depends on what type of insanity, I suppose. Maybe some things you wouldn't want to put in there. Franz will try to sort of fish a little bit, like what type of is this like? Is this code for like Arkham Asylum, or is this more like, oh, this is a place where like the Queen Widower can spend the last of her days? Like what type of establishment is there? Are there going to be locked iron gates?
Make me an insight check then.
Sure. Franz can insight. Could I perhaps persuade you to give me advantage on this, for the reason that Franz is a noble and is fairly trained, or at least has some sort of natural affinity for this type of conversation, like polite dinner conversation, and trying to sort of root out what like other people are saying and not saying in a noble environment.
Your family's from the Waterdeep area, right?
Yes, we're in Waterdeep.
Then yes, I will give you the...
You just blow up his house.
I did blow up my house. They have moved a little bit east, but there's still a Waterdavian family. Then we have a townhouse, even though that's occupied currently.
Yes, I will give you advantage.
Okay, okay. That's wisdom, I believe.
Yes.
Okay, well, that's a 10.
You definitely know that there are a few eccentric nobles in Waterdeep.
Yes.
And a lot of people have mentioned that there should be a place to send all of these crazy people. It's just unseemly. And it would appear Lord Flotian wants to
use his house as a
give
dumping
this place.
ground. Is this his revenge, I wonder, for having his house attacked? It's like, well, if you don't protect my house, I'm going to turn it into a fucking mental asylum. Then you can have the crazies.
Well, the Duke doesn't seem too impressed with the business proposal so far. Though he says that Lord Flotian, you would of course be expected to pay tax on each committed patient. He says with quite the grin. Slightly wobbles on his chair as he looks up a bit too fast. And Lord Flotian seems to go a bit quiet and says, I suppose that can be arranged, yes. At a suitable price, of course. The Duke nods and says, yes. We can use the watered Havian gold to buy new armor for our guards. He kind of leans back in his chair, grinning, and then seems to catch the eye of his food and his drink again and darts back to that rather quickly.
Ragman has a new respect for this Duke.
This is a noble he understands.
Yes. My kind of guy.
You are definitely talked to by the Duke, Sir Stevel, the Lady, and Lord Flotian. First course and second course, and you're not too sure how many courses there will be, but they still seem to come.
Oh, Franz knows.
Great.
I feel Franz at a disadvantage here because he's a halfling.
Ragman kind of eats like every course would be the last one.
Halflings have actually a very good capacity for eating, as it turns out.
Yes, but by sheer volume of food, like, you literally can't hold as much as everyone else.
Well, you'll be surprised.
You'll be surprised.
I'm bigger
yeah.
on the inside.
You're a
like
TARDIS.
TARDIS.
Even though I don't watch Doctor Who.
Never do I.
So if Yolden would request these servants to prepare an extra plate, a large one, please, for a friend of his at home, how would they react?
Takeout.
Can I have this as a takeout, please?
The
Doggy
conversation, as you say, that conversation seems to just die while the Duke and the Lady kind of look at you. So Stevel seems to try and hold back a bit of a laugh, and then the Duke says, kind of is a bit baffled, and then the Lady says, quite firmly after a short time, says, yes. And the Duke seems to go to say something until the Lady Morwen looks at him with quite the glare. And he kind of nods and says, by your divine wisdom, sister. And the servants quickly nod and go and sort out a large plate for your friend back at home.
Oh, excellent. Much appreciated. Make sure it's a lot of meat. The vegetables don't really matter that much. Not yet, anyways. Yes. I've read books, you know.
Books on what? Lady Morwen says.
On diets.
She nods and says, an interesting field of research for a druid.
Well, yes, I've heard that protein is important, but vegetables, you really only need those once you, well, don't feel so good anymore.
She kind of thinks about that and nods and says, I suppose you would know more about creatures than I would. And after all, we are all creatures.
Oh, most certainly, I assume.
Even before she's totally an outsider.
Sidelong glance.
Clara is unfazed by this, but maybe it might be because she's rather distracted right now. As she's been trying to make, like, just polite conversation with Sir Flotian, which she's trying not to, but she can't help it, so is trying to mostly hide it with deception. the fact she's making slightly flirtatious comments.
Lord Flotion seems to dance the dance very well.
He's been around.
He's been around. He doesn't insinuate anything and definitely doesn't make any plans. But he seems to be very adept at drawing you along conversations.
Kalia is enthralled.
Oh, do tell me more, she purrs, leaning forward. Her tail, like, slightly raising behind her.
Dragman breaks this up by offering Carlia like a glass of ale. Like, try this, Carlia. It's pretty good.
Like, slams down a lamb chop on her plate.
Kind of will accept passes you a glare.
Dragman looks at you like expectantly.
You will try it.
There we go.
I can just imagine Ragnar like trying to offer Kalaya a glass of ale, going like, "Hey, this is great," and Yoda in the background just shaking his head slowly.
And then we'll slide the glass back and go back. So what would you say?
He definitely talks.
Do tell me again of the rose gardens.
Oh, you slew that? How brave of you.
I don't think he's a fighter, is he?
He
Sir,
has been known. He has been known as a fighter. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I presume he's a sir, so he's a knight.
Oh, was he an adventurer?
Not so much an adventurer. He wasn't so much an adventurer as folk tales don't really speak of him like it would other adventurers. If that makes any form of sense.
Hmm. Well, he got a sir title, so he did something for someone.
Yeah, he. He's actually more than a couple of centuries old. Sorry, he's somewhere in the region of 5 to 6 centuries.
Jesus
old.
Christ.
He's rather old at this point. Although he did do some adventures, he wasn't exactly an adventurer. He tends to look after the people. He's very much a people person. He looks out for them. He works for them, including like helping with irrigation or helping with, say, like a natural disaster. He'll go to places that are hit the worst. He's very much a person, a man of the people. And possibly how he got his sir title. But he got it a very long time ago, so no one really remembers.
Does he have any family? If Franz asks, does he have like a wife, children, anything like that?
No.
Never?
He's never had a wife and has never born a child.
Oh, well, that's...
You're here. Never had a wife. Or at least Franz might Carlisle's tail slightly.
No, Carlisle, no.
No,
Carlisle specifically keeping her tail behind her and down.
You just flick back and forth like a cat seeing a mouse, you know. Like...
Franz's like noble knowledge would be able to lend him the knowledge that he has had numerous lovers and all of them high elf women.
No air though.
All of them.
Well, clearly,
No air.
Clearly the reason they never worked out is because he's never tried to keep them.
You know, I don't. It's very exotic. I give you that. You know, it's maybe. Well, what does Kelson Darktreader have to add to anything? Does he speak? He looks pretty grim.
He hasn't spoken a word.
No.
Not a single word. He just seems to eat, finishes his food, and then just kind of blanks out in a sense. Though he is listening.
I wonder why
That
he's
is clear.
here.
I mean, you could ask him if you wanted.
It's a bit, you know. So, Raz would be like, sir, Mr. Dark Treader, are you often at these dinners? Takes a sip.
He kind of focuses his gaze on you and says, "No."
Fast nods. Well, a special occasion then.
He shrugs, looks to the Duke, looks back at you, and says, "I guess."
So, what's the biggest thing that you've hunted around here?
He scratches his beard and says, "Bear, I guess." Kind of nods a bit. Big bear.
I see.
Impressive, really.
I could show you, like, no. Thump.
His hands are decently worn. He is definitely a man that uses his hands.
I would imagine if it's like head huntsman or whatever it was.
Yes, master of the hunt.
Master of the hunt, yep.
Yes. That's his title, at the very least. Half-brother of the Duke, actually.
Oh, really?
Indeed.
So if this brother and sister, is old Mama Duke and Papa Duke dead?
Yes, they have been dead for a while.
And no family of these two yet?
No, the Duke hasn't married. He's rather selfish. Some people call him arrogant as well. But he's not had anyone as a lover. He's not courted anyone. In fact, Lady Morwen is his older sister.
Oh, so she is the one who's actually in charge? Question mark?
No, he is in charge. It's very much a male
A
hierarchical.
line. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Agnatic, cognatic. Male first, female second.
There we go.
Yeah. You would know her only in passing, really, that she pays visits to the shrine of Tempus.
Oh, well, that explains the knife and the getup.
And she has also been seen training alongside the militia in town in the drill field. Yeah. And in fact, she has been recently named Master of Arms.
Oh. Okay, well.
A title which effectively gives her military command of the castle. Though there have been whispers that she's in the noble line says that the Duke's older sister is a better ruler than the Duke.
You know, I believe it. He seems like a bit of a buffoon here.
He's definitely known to enjoy the pleasures of his position. He's not a loved man, though he tries very hard to be. and he's very much quite the coward. Most of his forebears have had an adventuring life before this. Most of the Daggerford line are adventurers, fighters, warriors. In fact, the traditional family weapon is a knife or a blade, even called Dawnfire, which is obviously a fighter's weapon, not a fat man who wears fine clothing and eats a little too much.
Drinks a lot.
Drinks a lot.
Would it be
Well,
fair
at
to
least
say
now.
requires a larger belt than most?
Yeah, I think in our future dealings with this establishment, it's probably Lady Morwen that we should probably talk to, not
What are you
this.
talking about?
After
Man is great.
After all, we wouldn't want to disturb the Duke's time.
No, it's exactly. Yes, Carla. Yes, Franz nods emphatically at this. Duke's time is
Kalai knows how to
obviously.
do this. Kalai knows how to do this game.
Maldwin, this food is amazing. You should hold these dinner parties more often.
Large burp.
She smiles and says,
I said Maldwin, the Duke.
"Oh, Maldwin, yeah." He smiles and says, "Yes, another time, perhaps."
Yes, I don't think I could make two of these in a row. As he stuffs his face more.
He smiles and says, "Good."
Kind of a subtle whisper to Franz. Is it me? Is it me, or do the dwarves have a bottomless stomach?
Yes, shakes his head.
Do you think the bag of holding in there or something?
It's Ragmund here. Glasses over to Jolden, who I assume is engaging Lady Morwen in some fascinating conversation right now.
Trying to, at least.
So the thing with leaves is that you can use them for so much. Like, pulls out the bushel.
You know, I do feel slightly bad for her because both of the charisma characters are on this side of the table.
Yeah.
And admittedly, the Carlo Beast is over there anyway because she's infatuated with the elves. Mostly with whatnot.
So are we missing one person? There's like a seat empty there.
Lady Morwen shakes her head and says, "No, we just didn't want to upset the balance of the table by removing a chair. After all, the chairs are very expensive."
Yes, balance is very important.
Does Jolden seem slightly drunk? Balance is important.
Especially when you're drunk.
No, Yolda doesn't get drunk, especially not from this stuff.
No.
He can only get drunk off of 40% ale. 40% ale.
What does Jolden drink normally? Because he seems to dislike everything he drinks.
He drinks everything and he dislikes everything.
Oh, okay, sure.
Although he does also drink water.
Oh, okay.
Can't go wrong with water, right?
I mean, you would think that, but
Could do with some mushrooms.
Now, Rodney is starting to have a dilemma here. He wants to drink and he wants to eat, but he can't really do both at the same time. So he's like, he can't. Also, his stomach is kind of getting full after like how many courses of food has there been?
Several.
He's kind of like trying to one up the Duke, actually.
To Franz's eye, there seems to be a 12-course meal.
Mm-hmm.
Though usually for guests it would probably be a 15, but 12 seems to be what they're going for.
I'm just pointing out this is 10 courses more than Clyde's ever had.
Yeah,
This is about 10 less than what Franz has had in the past.
it's not. Yes, when when there's oh my god.
I'm just pointing out, like, Clyde did not grow up in the most fabulous of conditions. Like, she did not have 12 course meals.
But as the night goes on, they
Iris stumped and still flirting.
Lady Morwen seems to grow on you. She seems more friendly with you. As Maldwin gets more and more drunk as the seconds go past, and Lady Morwen's resentment for that is visible. Nearing, wow, Carlisle is drunk.
Apparently, Carlisle is also flirting with Lady Maudlin slightly.
I mean, she doesn't rebuke you.
Yeah, deception means it's subtle, but you know.
I mean, that was con, right? So wouldn't a deception be charisma based?
What was that?
You rolled Constitution.
I know, but I'm saying she's trying to be subtle with trying to, though she's drunk, so I don't know how it's going to happen.
Oh god.
Okay.
let's just forget about this, alright?
Jordan just falls over.
No, I think the more correct thing is Jordan's going to get this tomorrow.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah. Although Yolden is a dwarf, and they actually alcohol would be classed as a
Poison.
It's a poison.
It is a
It's a
poison.
poison, and aren't dwarves resistant to,
Yeah, they are.
to-
Resistant, yeah, but I don't have advantage. Actually, I do have advantage on saving throws against poison.
Yeah,
So that would be a 16.
yeah, you've got resilience, so it would be a 16. So you're doing
Jordan
alright.
sits upright, bolt-like again. Like, I'm fine. Fine. Perfectly fine.
Kind of shakes his head and he's like, "Oh, Ragman's doing better, though he's feeling the beer. Clearly, he hasn't tasted as much as Yolden has. Yolden doesn't agree with spitting out the ale when you taste it."
Exactly. Why would you do that?
Franz will not roll for this because he's not trying to get drunk. He's trying to be polite and.
Carlisle
just-
wasn't, but she was too distracted not to get drunk.
Franz probably gets tipsy because it's polite to drink from the wine and stuff that gets served, but he's not like.
After the first drink, they change your ale to a fine wine, actually. Seeing that you're not going to drink them out of house and home. They change your drink.
But the only reason why Kalia ends up probably getting drunk is probably because Ragnar keeps giving her drinks.
Yeah, Ragman's going to feel this in the morning. And Carlia especially is going to feel it in the morning. Might even not remember a few things.
What, with a 12? Oh.
Yeah, I mean, 12 is that you've done well. But
He's
you're
mostly
drinking a lot.
He's eating more than drinking, actually.
Yeah.
He died. He went for that route instead.
Okay, alright.
Because he can drink at the bar as much as he wants,
will
but his
be-
food.
You will be slightly constipated.
I'm sure Jorlan has a remedy. For
Oh
that.
yeah, you bet. Eat these berries and that'll solve itself very quickly.
Then he won't see him for 2 hours.
But yes. The night grows long. And if you wanted to talk to them, you certainly can. You've got a very long night. It takes a couple hours for this dinner to...
So, dragons, am I right?
A little bit more meat, thank you. So I was saying,
So Starvo kind of looks at you like, what?
Oh, lots of talk about that one that was around, you know?
He nods and says, yes, I couldn't convince the Duchess to send out a contingent to deal with it. Though there has been sightings of another.
2 of them, oh.
What happened with that thing in the north that we saw from the wall?
You mean the fire to the east?
Yes.
Yeah. So Starvel nods and says, "We're not sure. We've sent out a few men to search, see what's going on. It will probably take a few days to check it out." And then he kind of looks at you all with sort of the look of he wants to talk more about this, but not around everyone else. Then he seems to change the topic over to how nice the food is.
It is very nice.
Yeah. Did you want to talk to anyone else in particular about things?
I mean, how is Carlia's advances going there?
You know, I imagine she's getting deflected constantly.
It's not so much you're being
Running
rebuked. Yes, you're being run in circles.
Well, the positioning of the table is a bit awkward. Because Franz can't comfortably talk to a few people. He basically just has the huntsman and the duke currently. And they're not that fun to talk to, it seems.
You can definitely talk across the table. Though you might have to raise your voice to reach Lady Morwen. You can definitely talk to Sir Stevel.
He's so grim and paladin-like over there.
It's true.
He has that Kit Harington broodiness going.
Man, you know, that's what you get for being a paladin of Mantle.
Do we get like as the evening tapers on? Do we get like moved into a study or something, or is it a parlor, or are we just at the table? Is that like?
Basically, what happens is, as the dinner subsides, everyone's kind of full. Duke Maldwin will stand up and say, "Well, I'm very grateful for you all to become. I'm so grateful for you to come. Yes, I will talk to some of you at a later date, and yes." And as he's trying to look for words, Lady Morwen seems to interrupt him and says, "I think my dear brother, the Duke, will be going to bed, I believe." And he kind of looks at her and nods and says, yes, I think that's a good idea, yes." Kind of gets up, stumbles and puts a hand on the table, straightens himself on his jacket, and then heads on out. Actually going through one of the secret doors over here, much to the startlement of some of the servants. And as he gets up, Gelson Darktreader stands up and bows and leaves as well. But he takes the stairs out.
Well.
And Lady Morwen says, "I do apologize for my brother."
What for?
I do apologize for Ragmund.
What?
She smiles.
I
and
was
says,
nice, Franz. I even complimented the food.
He nods. I heard. Yes, everyone heard. I think the burp sent the windows chattering.
I mean, how else would the cooks know that I like the food?
Franz sends a pleading, pleading gaze towards Lady Morwen.
She smiles and kind of nods her head as a "I understand" kind of gesture.
So, Lady Morwen, if I may be so bold, I mean, we appreciate this a lot. Very good food, very nice. But why were we invited here?
She smiles and says, "You have become quite the celebrities in Daggerford. It's come to my attention, and of course we need to keep good appearances, and well, need to be seen to like you, of course."
Perhaps nods
So-
slowly.
Though my brother is not keen on adventurers, not being the man to do such. But I can tell that at least Jordan is not just some cold-hearted mercenary.